Another way to synchronize multiple cameras is to use audio. Now, most cameras have the ability to record sound of some sort. It may not be great audio, particularly if you're using something like a DSLR or a GoPro camera, but they do have the ability to capture sound. And as long as that sound is high enough quality to be recognized, it can often be used to synchronize the different angles. Premiere Pro has this ability built right in fact, and it can be quite useful. Now, we will explore some more advanced third-party utilities that can work with lots of clips in sync based on audio, but for simple sequences, this method works pretty well. Let's open up the Sources folder here, and I'll maximize the panel. You'll see that I've got 5 angles, plus the reference audio track. We're going to select the audio track here as the first source. This is the clean, professionally recorded track that the musician is going to play along with. Let's load it for a moment. And you'll see at the beginning, we have a click track to help count things down. Those loud, clean beeps make it very easy to synchronize the other angles and give us something that's quite useful. If we load up each angle here and we take a look at the audio, you'll see that even with all that noise and environment, that those beeps do come through. Here they are. Action. This makes it very easy to find something for synchronization. Now, we could go on each clip and put a marker on those beeps. Those spikes are relatively visible, but I think there's probably enough here to synchronize based on audio. So let's choose the first source, and I'll select the rest of the angles. Now remember, if you have an audio clip that's got bad audio or lots of different tracks, you can actually disable audio channels within the Modify Clip settings. So maybe you've got the reference mic going in on one, the shotgun mic, and then just the camera mic on another. You can actually throw away or temporarily disable one of those and only use the turned on channels for syncing. But these clips seem good enough, so let's give them a shot. With everything selected, I'll now right-click and choose to create a multi-camera source sequence. Let's tell it to use audio. And you'll notice from the pop-up list here that I can choose which channel to use. Let's say, for example, channel 1 was reference audio and channel 2 was a different source. Well, you can specify which one to use. Or in this case, I could tell it to look at both channels and mix them down. Now, I'm using a bunch of 2-channel sources here, DSLR cameras, but you could have different cameras that have more than 2 tracks of audio. We'll leave the sequence preset set to automatic, and I'll move the clips into a process bin. But I do want to make sure that the audio stays with camera 1, which was the first angle I selected. Everything looks good, so I'll click OK. Now, this does take a little longer to synchronize because it has to analyze the audio tracks, but it did make a multi-camera sequence just like before. And with a right click on that multi-camera clip, we can choose to put that into a new sequence based upon that clip. Let's mouse over here and we'll click the full screen button. Now, if you don't have this button, remember, you can click the button editor and just drag it down into the bar area here. I'll click to make that a little bit bigger, and let's mouse over and press the accent grave or tilde key. What I want to see now is if things synchronize. Well, to me, that looks pretty darn good. One of the benefits of making sure that each camera is recording decent audio is that it's almost as accurate as syncing based upon timecode. The ability to preset timecode or take a timecode input to jam all the cameras together is often limited to higher budget cameras. But in this case, we were able to shoot a concert in a nightclub with multiple camera angles and successfully capture. In this case, it's just a staged concert scene, but we're using low available light, and the DSLR cameras made it very easy to capture enough light in this location and gave us great quality imagery to work with. I love the fact that by making sure the audio is all there, we can synchronize. Now, the use of a click track is very common when you're going to be doing something like a music video. But this could be a speech, and maybe you just recorded the audio directly from the podium to a dedicated recorder. Or if it was being given without the benefit of a PA system, maybe you placed a dedicated audio recorder right on the podium while the speaker was presenting. Then, as long as the cameras could capture enough audio based upon what they're hearing, well, you can actually use that to synchronize. But it is important that you take the time to adjust the camera input levels when recording. Make sure that things don't get too low or you won't be able to sync, or that it's recording too hot and the audio is crackly or distorted. In either case, it can be quite difficult. But as long as you get good baseline audio, even with the built-in camera mic, Premiere Pro does a great job of synchronizing things.